So that is civil service, which means we can have an alliance because we like people. I've only really got 2 candidates, Eleanor and Poland. Eleanor is a pain because she has the court of love. She's not going to do a cultural alliance, is she? Okay, she never does accept that. It was worth a try. Poland shares a war target with me, so we'll go for a military alliance. That was 6 gold per turn I could claim there as well. Lovely. I believe there is a trade route, or quite a few actually, to Eleanor, so she's going to be a good trading partner. Science alliance? Oh, she's already got that one. Let's fill in the blanks, Ben, and go for... No, we already went to that one. Economic? Yeah, that's paying a lot for that. Religious is paying even more. All right, we'll wait for her to come around. More industrial zones. So we've got one finished there. We've got one finishing here and there now. So we should be able to rock up to industrialization soon. That's the hope anyway. A government. Divine right. Delicious. Do I want to drop a -20 down just because I can? No. Back you come. France is beginning to absolutely explode in science. I don't know what France is doing, but they are doing it well. Come on, Eleanor. I need you to absorb their empire, please. Like ruin. They're in a golden age and it's on 1 loyalty. That's easily one you can claim. Come on. You just have to believe in yourself. I'm going to drop this envoy into Fez as well. Keep my science nice and high. 118. Back down to 5th in terms of tech. Yeah, Poland has grabbed quite a bit, but it's because I think I'm missing quite a few of the early techs. Not having machinery, stirrups, whilst rushing industrialization. You're going to see me look like I'm flagging behind a little bit. I'm not really. Also, University 1 and University 2. Actually, that's 2 and 3 because we've already got 1 in flower power. Oh, 3 universities. Nice. I'll save the money up and buy 1 into Wolfman. And as we get more envoys, which we should do soon, I'll pick up 3 in Fez and Geneva, and then we'll see the science pour in. You know what time it is? It's industrialization time. Couldn't really say that in less of an exciting way, could I? But look, it's all fine. It's all being added together nicely. Another university finished. 129 science per turn now. Build a commercial hub, please. Or at least put it down, and then we'll get a builder in first. I feel like I haven't got enough builders in my nation at the moment. Just gonna stake a little bit of a land claim here on the island of Sardinia. Welcome to the wonderful. What's the Novu? That always makes me laugh. Is it a +5? It is a +5. Ooh. Well then, we'll chop that out quickly. We'll get the walls going as well, and we need to bring some land forces down to this island so I can clear this barb camp for a bit of gold. Keep moving south. As you can see, we have almost got this city sieged. We have 4 turns left, but by moving this troop down there, this troop down there, it will be sieged, and then we'll be able to attack it with our leisure. I say with our leisure, we really still don't have a lot of turns. Leisure is an abstract concept. Galileo, this is really good for a huge burst of science. Somewhere in the Alps will probably have at least a 4-tile mountain pass, if not a 5. We'll account for that. That's looking really tasty. Chop out the university. Pop down the industrial zone. We'll have a mine there. Byzantium will become strong. Venice has declared war on me because Venice now follows Hungary. That sort of seals Venice's fate, by the way. I was very, very much trying to think of a way that I could keep Venice alive, but if it gets conquered and levied and taken over by Hungary, that's just going to become more and more of a pain, especially if it gets levied. So we might have to raise that thing. Keeping it will trigger an emergency. I can't be bothered with an emergency like that. No one can be bothered with a Venice-esque emergency, let's be honest. 10 population, flower power. This is what I was talking about. Bring that swordsman there, then this one there, and the siege is now complete, which means the damage that I do to Cordoba doesn't heal. Should be able to take that next turn. We still haven't had any religion spread to me yet, which is slightly confusing. Confucianism, Judaism are the 2 closest to me. One is religious community, which would be good for trading, to be fair, and choral music with crusade. Judaism is not a religion we need. I will get crusaded if I get that into my nation. Okay, we'll keep an eye for that. Big old flood, that one. Tile damaged. I think that's probably going to be my aqueduct. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Finish the industrial zone and then we'll fix that. But that's made this city very unhappy because it was giving me 2 immunities. Eek. That's painful. Let's try this one again. 1 attack, 2 attack, 3 attack, and 4 attack. If my calculations are correct, which I think they are, liberating the city will give me 100 diplo favor, a huge reduction in grievances, and because of the pressure from France, this city will still be entirely disloyal. Yeah, look at that. Total pop pressure -29.3. Even if my 10 is removed from that equation, it's still almost entirely flippable. So yeah, this is not good for them. Spain are now going to love me, and hopefully that means they're going to be my friend from now on. And I can also now go to the market and say, hey, I've got 122 Diplo favor. Please make this worth it. Oh, 36 gold per turn that was worth. That is almost, I say almost, worth the gold I spent on the levy of Bologna. So I'm not entirely sure I'm up about that, but hey, it's fine. We will keep recycling this and doing this for as long as it makes sense. Otherwise, I'll raise it and then resettle. In fact, actually, I might just make sure I've got loads of settlers in the area before resettling it. Yeah, there you go. Venice has just been levied. Uh-oh. Persia. I'm sure we'll be fast friends, he says. Don't know about that. Lots of military emergencies have been passed. Lots of people now at war with France. Seems about right. Can't tell you why, but it just does. There's something so industrial about chopping woods out in order to make industrial zones. Violent industrialization. The world will not enjoy this, but here we are nonetheless. Machinery. Crossbows are good. Monarchy. That's also good. So Republican legacy goes in with serfdom and natural philosophy. I'll pop in limes because I think it's a really good card. We never actually finished veterancy, did we? Fair enough. Retainers will do for now. I'm just on the cusp of being ecstatic, so actually just having a bunch of units in my cities could be very handy here. So monarchy gives me extra influence points with city-states, which is quite good, but the extra housing from walls helps with some of my more crowded cities. We'll see if we can get good use out of that government ability. I'm sure we can. Galileo just keeps going backwards and forwards. I haven't actually found a good place for him to pop all of his science charge, but we'll find somewhere. This German warrior is being literally the worst because I cannot get this swordsman back into Cordoba. It's going to flip in 4 turns. All of these swordsmen need to be ready to go again, you know? Otherwise, we can't liberate. We have to liberate. It's important. Look at some of the military strength, though. 3,000, 2,700, 3,000. This is why we struggled so much the first time we played this game. Looking at the AI now begin to pick up steam with all of their science production. I'm doing my best to hold in here. This is going to be tough, though. This is going to be very tough. Just picking up printing to get +3 combat strength with everybody. After that point, I'm tempted to stick to the top of the tree to go for chemistry, but now Byzantium has a workshop, which is my second, which gives me industrialization. Please give me coal. Come on. Coal. There's got to be some. 8 results on the map, and I can see some on Corsica. All right, so we have at least some. There's some over here as well, although the loyalty of that area is likely to be pretty bad. None of this is applicable. That is probably my only source. Yeah, everything else is kind of away. So resources on this map are really slim, really quite bad, you know? How do we get out of this predicament? What do we do? I think getting the coal power plant works well. I still have this stolen settler. This stolen settler is actually going to go over in this direction towards Hungary and try and seize this coal, which means Byzantium needs to make its own settler to then go and claim this one. But that's pretty good. I think we can do that. Another campus has just been chopped out. I'm going to go and clear this encampment. The amount of campuses we have down, though, I am impressed with that. Campuses and industrial zones, pretty good. Trade routes, not so good. My trade route game has been poor, but we're now starting to get close to very good trade routes. In fact, there's 18 gold routes now. Oh, Carthage has been settled. 2 Carthages. Often TSL games do this. It's been settled on Italy. Oh, if that's not an instant war declaration with the Venetians, I don't know what is. We're gonna have to think about this. They have almost 2,000 military strength. Their navy is unlikely to be beatable at this point. We're gonna have to think about that long and hard. Germany's being such a troll. Please, let me go. Let me through. Hattusa, another scientific city-state. So we found all 4. So this does kind of reinforce the idea that I had in my head, which was science was a good way to go in this game. Haha. Oh, they let me through finally. Scotland. Scotland owns all the Wales, apparently, rather than England this game. Dumfries. I think Scotland might like me because I have liberated things. That might be too simple a thought there. They may not actually care at all, but with these 2 luxuries, I'm hoping we're going to get back to being ecstatic. Go on, do it. Yes. So that's the difference between 158 science and 169. Big difference, Matt. It's a shame we can't get Newton. I haven't got anywhere near enough for gold, and a lot of people are now running projects. So we're going to see the scientists all dry up pretty quick. Did we just beeline chemistry here? Stirrups is boosted, as is astronomy. We need guilds. We need to build an armory, have 2 crossbows, enlightenment, 2 banks. There's stuff that we could do. I'm going to work towards it. I still think flight might be the best overall technique, but it's a good option. I'm going to start building factories as well. Here's veterancy, 30% production towards encampment and harbors, as well as all the buildings in them. So we've got lighthouse, shipyard, loads of fun stuff now being produced. Cordoba. It's flipped again. What a shame. What a shame. I guess we're just going to have to liberate it all over again, aren't we? Come on, Barb Camp. Give me your secrets. Let me in. I need all of your gold. Oh, luckily, this man-at-arms very kindly damaged the archer for me. So now when we move in, that annoying Gaul unit is gone already. However, with this man-at-arms in the city that is annoyingly protected, we'll just leave it a turn. See if they move out. You never know. They might. What is it about Germans in mountain passes? Just move, please. Okay, the siege is now lifted, but the man-at-arms has moved out of the city, so this is the time. This is the time to do the damage. Hopefully it won't have time to heal itself. We'll pray. And bam. 3 era score, 320 gold. That means that I can afford a factory. Next stop, coal power plant. Hungary will take peace though. That's good. Hungary were genuinely worrying me. And Gaul, yep, 5 gold for that settler, sure. Peace is restored. Gaul has 120 niter, by the way. Maybe Gaul are the people I need to talk to if I fancy a good old niter rush, which I always tend to. There's something rather wonderful about a good old niter rush. Cordoba falls again. This is the interesting thing. I would genuinely struggle to hold this city if I kept it. But would it be the worst thing? If I held this city, I would keep this entire area. I'd have access to 1, 2, 3 luxuries, as well as a pretty decent, the +4 campus over there. Like, this is really good. This is really good. But I think at the moment, economically, it still makes sense to just keep liberating this. And we'll keep pushing our units back in and out. I need to make my money's worth. 44 gold per turn that time. Yeah, that was like 800 gold's worth. 12 turns remaining on the levy. All right, this time I'm going to probably keep the city. My satellite is done. We're going to go and take this island. What does Byzantium do? Do we just continue here? Do we continue to make settlers, or do we start making an army? Where do we attack? If we do attack, where do we attack? Who's the weakest? Who is struggling in this game? Spain has no tech, as does Cyrus and somehow Scotland. I have no idea how that happens. Georgia, Scythia, Ottomans, Portugal, Greece. Greece has got very tough walls. My lack of niter is a big problem for me at the moment. Unless I was to try and use ironclads. Now that would be it's an idea. We could use ironclads. We could at least take Carthage and then go after their capital. It's just their military strength is so high, but there are lots of resources on this African coast. Horses, niter, coal, a lot of walled cities as well though is the big problem. Ironclads can only do so much. I need some sort of ranged attack, and all of the ranged boats are hidden at the moment behind niter, at least until I get a bunch of culture and unlock the privateer, which is a little far away at the moment. I could try for Venetian arsenal. That would give me the ability to double up on stuff like niter. How expensive is niter? I know Gaul is selling it, so for how much? Not much at all, 109. So I could easily make frigates here. All right, that kind of sells it for me. Either Carthage or Greece is going to be my target, but I need a bunch of frigates. And when I say a bunch, I mean probably at least 6. Frigates are Renaissance era troops, and my admiral only works to medieval. We're unlikely to get an admiral anytime soon. The other option is to go for Portugal, like go all the way around, but that's a long way away. Or we just keep on sitting here until we get to something a bit more boomy. That's the other thing we could do. Gamble on oil or battleships. Oh, but we do have coal. So we could go for battleships and just rush these. That's 8 techs away. And these are easily boostable techs as well. These are very easily boostable techs. Okay. I think we are developing a plan. We're going to go for battleships and artillery. That's our next play. All I can say to that, well, wish us luck. We're going to need it. Alrighty, so I've had a small change of plan. I keep thinking if we're going to build loads of universities, we're going to get our science up, we're going to start to industrialize. It's important that Byzantium gets the coal power plant finished before we start to put out too many more settlers. One source of coal is enough. I'm also going to go for steam power so that we can have at least one really hard-hitting boat. I have the Great Admiral that makes a fleet. That would give me an ironclad with 80 melee strength. I think that's going to be a really useful thing to have. Bimothy, Dr. Bobby, and Mr. Fancy Sweatpants are all going to be getting out lighthouses and markets, which will take my trading routes from 2 to 5. That'll give me a load more gold. But otherwise, you can see a bunch of my cities now. 1, 2, 3. And now we're making quadriremes. So I'm going to get maybe 6 or 7 of those out as quickly as I can. And we're going to go to war. Either we're going to go for Carthage. Which one, you may ask? The answer is yes, both of them. Or we're going to go for Greece. Both natural targets for early expansion, especially because owning Corsica actually does then limit me a little bit in terms of where I can expand. So it's the natural thing to do. The deal with Gaul is still on the table for the Niter. However, I'm going to make sure these quadriremes get finished first. And to that extent, we're going to pay the horrible 300 gold tax in order to put maritime industries into my government. Combine that with urban planning, and we have ourselves a little bit more production towards boats. 12 turns to 4 turns. This is how we get the quadriremes out really quickly. Guilds is good as well, but I need more envoys. So we're going to go for mercenaries so I can upgrade them with the discounts. And speaking of, does it make sense to have 3 universities at +2 or a bunch more libraries at +1? I want to take Diplomatic League out of my government, so let's put the +1 into Hattusa first. That's 7 more science. I'll switch around when I can. I really should have done that this turn. Thinking about it, that would have been clever. Never mind. But this is where we knuckle down and we produce a bit of an army. Steam power gives me so much more maneuverability, but then we'll go for refining as quick as we can because battleships are so much more powerful than frigates. Frigates will be very good, and I can level them up endlessly on barbarians, which are still quite a few. It doesn't hurt, you know? Now, the Ottomans want to be my friends, which is a little annoying because the Ottomans actually are a pretty good target to attack as well. Namely, they own Constantinople, which is a huge target of mine, and Adana. That's very easily takeable, but they're probably going to get their Barbary coursers soon. Those things suck. So let's just assume that that's a bad idea for now. I do not want science to be voted on B, so let's vote for trade on A. City-state trading might be a little bit better, and let's go for fewer grievances for me. Unlikely to get put through, but hey, if we do get that through, that'll be quite amusing. Jadwiga has less grievances and 100% on city-state yields. Wow. All right, that's quite cool. 3 science on a trade route to a scientific city-state now. That's amazing. This is a terrible settle. This is a -13 settle, but it does have coal, and Greece is very likely to try and settle this. So we're going for it. Aha! -15, you say? Joy. I might need to just borrow Magnus briefly. Puttoli, I think a new city name will help you to grow. Gaia's Faithful it is. And one of the things I really want to do super quickly, apart from popping a harbor down, which I very much want to do, we're going to go and chop out this marsh. That'll give me some population. That'll give me a huge amount of loyalty pressure. You can see I'm getting +9 just from that one population. We get to population 3, say? I think that should be pretty good. We should be happy from that point. I have faith in that. Greece, if you don't move that unit, I might take that settler from you. I'm just saying. Leave a settler in front of me once. Shame on you. Leave a settler in front of me twice. Still shame on you. Actually, I'm going to lie to you. I'm taking that favor. Thank you. I'll sell that. I will sell that again. 60 favor. All I had to do was lie to people. It's brilliant. You know, I do need to spend some time making friends with people that I'm unlikely to ever need to fight. So people like Persia, Scotland, those are people that I'm not going to need to get into a scrap with for some time. When I go to war with a couple of people, I'm going to find myself at war with the world pretty quickly, and that means no trade, and no trade means no gold. So we need to just keep that in mind. Oh, the city's now loyal because it's happy. Oh, you see, look, happiness just swung the loyalty by 9, but that chop is in, and yeah, I mean, the loyalty's already looking good. I don't see why I shouldn't just keep throwing my gold at universities. Right now, these things are giving me so much value for money. 6 science, but that's going to get a lot higher soon. 197 science. We didn't break the 200 barrier first. Poland and France did, but we are right on their heels. Technologically, I feel like in this game, I'm doing a lot better than other games I've had recently, but we'll see. We'll see if that works out. I'm not going to get the boost on steam power. This is very unlikely, so I'm going to use the 1000 science to make sure we get this. It'll unlock railroads, not that I have any coal to put them down, or iron to put them down, but I will eventually eventually. More importantly, it unlocks the ironclad for me. Now we go to castles and through from there. I'm going to make the deal with the devil here. The Ottomans are a really, really good trading partner, and they're the other side of Greece. I'm going to make friends with them and use their friendship to squeeze Greece from both sides. I've also given open borders and a delegation to Persia. Hopefully that will help that one. I think this is going to be really useful as well. The Ottomans has a good supply of niter, as the Ottomans often does. So I now have an ally, or at least a friend for now, that can produce large amounts of niter for me if I need it. 18 gold to Carthage on this trade route. I know, trading with the enemy, but it just makes sense for that much gold. It really does. An envoy from mercenaries. We can put one into either Fez or Hattusa. I'm just going to have a quick look and see, do any of my potential enemies have any control over either one of these city-states? Fez is potentially controllable by Dido, so we're actually going to put the envoy into Hattusa first. I think I have 4 universities now, so this should, in theory, give me about 8 more science per turn. It gives me 10 because I'm ecstatic. Yep, checks out. That is awesome stuff. See, my navy is now being produced. This settler is wandering off, which is really annoying, but this one's still in the sea. Don't go far. This is not done with you. No, no. All right, and this city, Gaia's Faithful, is now faithful. So, Magnus, you can go back to Byzantium. More traders. More trade with Carthage. Medieval Fez. It's a dirty, dirty boost when you get it like I just did. The barbs have been cleared off Sicily. Interesting. I expected there would still be barbs in this area. Fine. My units aren't exactly needed. My steam-powered warrior. This is city number 10. My second source of coal. Brilliant. You really can't have enough. Clintay, welcome. The Isle of Corsica is all yours. I think it makes sense to go for the harbor first in this city, but we can chop out a semi-decent campus on that tile. So let's go to there first. We'll chop out this harbor, get some more trade. Delicious trade. I feel like Hungary is building Forbidden City where I can see it just to tempt me. There's no other reason it would be there. Why put it there of all places? Cordoba falls again. I only have 6 turns on my levy from Bologna this time. That's problematic. I think the time's almost arrived to keep the city. Yeah, it ruins my settling plan, but short of being able to get all the settlers in and around, maybe I do that. I think I still commit to my 3 settles. So once Byzantium's finished with the coal power plant, we'll get the settlers over. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to commit. We're going to commit to the liberation. I think it's worth it. Carthage's army is absolutely huge. Well, its navy specifically is massive. I do not like how big it is. The Mediterranean is not a place that I control right now. One thing that is working for me though, my university game, still popping up. 219 on science now. 3-era score. I am the first in the world to turn the lights on. My city only has 29 strength, but it has power. Really, that's the only thing that matters. 51 production now. Start to get these settlers in place. I need 3 of them. I'm going to switch urban planning over in a second and get that done. Actually, you know what? 1, 2. Only 2 cities still are building quadriremes. I think I'm almost done on that aspect now. Greece is definitely the person to attack first. Carthage, I'm now gaining a lot of trade from. A lot of very good gold per turn. And Carthage's navy is just frightening. Naval tradition. Okay, we don't need maritime industries anymore. Nor do we need veterancy. Instead, we are going to go for retinues and professional army. Urban planning, it's good, but the settlers card is better. Finally, charismatic leader. For a few more envoy points, we're going to drop our extra envoy into Fez. 219? No, I reckon about 231 when that goes through. Oh my goodness, I'm a genius. I can count. Look at it. Oh, I know. I amaze myself sometimes. Now let's see if the world's niter market is still open. Please be open. A lot of my strategy is relying on this. Yep, okay, it's still open and entirely undervalued. That's how much niter the AI has. It's like, this is literally worthless to us. We have nothing to do with all of this niter. So this is 1 frigate and then 2. Next turn, I'll be able to afford a 3rd. We've got 1 coming around here, 1 there. This one's coming around and this galley will become an ironclad. All good stuff. Who is Greece allied to? Nobody. Interesting. Very interesting. Greece is at war with my military ally as well, so we could actually join in with that war. That is just great to see. 3 turns left on this levy from Bologna. Come on, Cordoba, just fall. You've fallen so many times to me. Another one doesn't hurt, right? The Renaissance era. This is going to be my time. This is the age where Ursa Ryan pops off. Monumentality, Exodus, Hicksonk Dracones reform the coinage. Now, I'm very tempted for Hicksonk Dracones for the 2 2 movement on all of my naval and embarked units, but also for 2 loyalty for cities not on my continent. Unfortunately, Greece is on my continent. Okay, so the loyalty wouldn't give me anything, but +2 movement on all my boats is very handy. Equally, traders can't be plundered and 3 gold per specialty district in the foreign city. I can only count 1 district in Carthage, and it's Kothon. Maybe that's not the best idea. Monumentality. I do have a bank of 600 faith, and a bit of gold coming in per turn now, so maybe I could buy in settlers. Settler would be worth about 500, about 260 faith or so. So I could spam a few of those out. That wouldn't be the worst idea. Exodus is useless. Reliable gold or the extra movement. Do I think that Greece is likely to plunder my trade routes? Like, I wouldn't trust them not to, you know? I wouldn't trust them not to at all. Something tells me that movement is going to be key. Something also tells me reliable gold is going to be key. I'm going to go reform the coinage. I don't know if that's the right move. Gave me 20 more gold per turn, but it has secured my trade routes now. So I actually do think it was a good move. Yeah, I think it was a good move. Did Greece go into a dark age? No, a normal age, but that's pretty good. It means we have the advantage on loyalty. So I was having a look, and unfortunately, Gorgo is right next to taking over Bologna, which is a bit annoying, but they're doing it because they have Armani in this city. So I reckon if we declare war on Gorgo, we'll remove her from the city, and we should be able to keep Bologna fairly safely. Cordoba is loyal now. But I'm going to stick to my guns here. So we've got our first settler already. I'm going to just start settling in this. I don't want to keep the city. Let's raise it. It's gone. The time of Ursa will start. And if anybody brings settlers into this area now, I will see them coming and I'll be able to declare war and steal them. So it's all good. So yeah, I think my 2 envoys I'm going to put into Geneva again for more university power. 246. That is now the science lead per turn out of anybody I've met anyway. Greece is still at war with Poland. Greece often under Gorgo gets stuck at war for long periods of time, which is quite amusing. Holland, can I join in on your war? No. Really? Oh, I have to give gold, do I? Oh, it's like that. Don't really get that one, but fine. I get the honor of joining in with your war, I guess. Military ally, +5 on combat with Gorgo's troops. And we're going to go through the list of people we know and see if anybody wants to join in with this war. Hungary, you are a prime candidate. He doesn't want to join in. Boo. Ottoman's already at war. Excellent. Eleanor's in. Gaul is in. Don't know why Gaul wants to get in with that, but sure. And Corinth is our first target. Although we're enjoying sinking units that are in the middle of the sea. So we can get 1 unit there, 1 here, and 1 there. We don't know the strength that Gorgo will attack with her city, but ancient walls hopefully won't keep frigates out for long. That wasn't much damage. That was like 13 damage on a city strike. We have the advantage at the moment. Greece has not put up a decent ranged attack in their cities. Amazing. Now I have a choice to make. Either I spend less gold by upgrading my galley to an ironclad now and then making it into a fleet. That would save me gold, but it would mean my city strength would be about 10 less than instead if I was to make the galley a fleet and then upgrade it. Then the cities would have an increased combat strength, but I would be another 320 gold down. I think at this stage I'd rather keep the gold. City strength will come in time. So there is the ironclad, the first coal weapon in the world. Nice. And there is the first fleet as well. This thing now has 80 strength. It is a battering ram. Greece should not be able to find a decent counter to this. And we're just going to keep bringing all of my troops around. My navy will fire off a salvo of death. And Corinth's walls are now down and the ironclad will just be able to wander in pretty much. Although I notice I now have no niter all of a sudden. That's not good. That means my frigates can't heal. You need at least 1 strategic resource in any troop that requires it. Otherwise they physically cannot heal. It is a pain, but luckily it's really cheap. It's like Gaul wants the chaos. I for one approve of that mentality. I'm going to spend just a little bit of gold upgrading a musket, the last quadrireme on this front. And now that means we can now get rid of retinues, rid of professional army, put in craftsmen for my coal power plant, and we'll pop the raid card in because we're going to do some raiding in a second. Not far from mercantilism. I'm going to rush that. I really like privateers, and I think privateers will play a big part in this game. These frigates are going to start the siege of the next Greek city. Whilst this frigate moves, does a little bit of damage to Corinth. These 2 frigates start to pelt this man-at-arms who has the unfortunate job of standing on the coast seemingly. And this ironclad is going to realize it has less movement than it thought it did. Fine, next turn. I picked up Liang because she's really good for making builders, but I need an extra governor because Corinth may not stay loyal, which is the biggest problem. I have to keep an eye on that one. And this is Saladin, who seems to have settled Cyprus. Oh, good on you. You've got a bunch of luxuries I don't know about. Nice. I'll take those and open borders for a little bit of gold per turn. Hey, do you want to join in with my war? No. It's always worth a try. Friendship? Oh, maybe another day. Poland somehow just shot up to 314 science per turn. What have you done? How come? Explain yourself. Jadwiga has interest there, not in Geneva or Hattusa. I just think that Poland has a ton of scientist points. 62. Oh yeah, she just finished a project. That would explain it. Santa Cruz. Oh my lord. An amazing admiral. Forms an armada, but works with frigates. I'm going to keep Santa Cruz around until I get to battleships. Then I will make one of my battleships into a armada. That is an amazing admiral. At any rate, Corinth is taken and it is loyal. Amazing. It gets a renaming immediately then. Skeptical Bear, you represent a huge moment for me because I don't think I actually mentioned at the time, but I got metal casting, which means that was worth 500 gold. We are now finally beginning to earn gold again from conquering cities. Veni, Vidi, Vici. Yeah, we got a little bit of Barb Camp gold at the start of the game, but now we are finally getting a proper use from my ability. I know, I could get emotional. I could get choked up. I'm finally also getting monuments in a bunch of my cities. There's so much stuff I'm doing right now, which is so far behind, but at the same time, we've got so much which is really good. Like my economy is genuinely quite awesome, and my science is really good. Universities for 12 science each. Oh, up to 266. Poland, you're gonna have to keep rushing those projects, because if you don't, I'm gonna get you. That Skeptical Bear's got a little bit of stuff to fix, but it won't take you long. And in the meantime, my frigate armada can continue pillaging and attacking and promoting and generally just being absolutely badass. Arabia is my friend. Locking in friendships now. The world is about to turn. An emergency will probably be called imminently. 144 diplo favor. Yeah, Greece will do that almost immediately, which is fair enough. I did just steam in from nowhere and steal a city. You can see exactly why an emergency would be called in this instance. This musket that I've just upgraded can actually steal a settler, and next turn we'll even be able to plunder this industrial zone for a little bit of science. The frigates are all continuing to upgrade. I'm just going to give them all bombardment. When you're going from city to city, it's by far the best promotion. I really should have moved Santa Cruz in there and totally forgot to. Farsalos. Oh, that's close. Next turn, and that city will be mine. Not that I'm worried, but I'm just going to spend a little bit of gold getting to 100 diplo favor. Not that I've just seen that symbol, which is the imminent World Congress is being called button. The chances of me being able to vote down an emergency are bad. They are very slim. But I have seen games where the AI just fails to commit on a vote like that. And sometimes in those games, throwing 4 or 5 votes around can be the difference. That just cost me quite a bit of gold, about 400 gold doing that. But it could be worth it in the long run. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Portland, Clint Hennis, The Nickerman, Daddy Bear Todd, Toon General, Civilized, Capo Yobby Virani, The Uncivil Engineer, Lillian, Radiatore, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Skeptical Bear, Cinnamon Beard, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan, El Truant, Creston, RB Hedged, Mushkin Mandletort, Burial, I'm Daft, Gooberman, Dr. Bobby, Mixomatosis, NTG Golfman, Indigenous 68, Technology Poet, Teddy Zursa, Saph, Barnaby Rex, Charlie Bears, Flying Dutch Burbs, Nate the Great, Alex Frost, Mean Penguin, Interplanet Janet, Frankincense Battlezord, Bookaluk 79, Bob Loblaw, Geography Teacher, Juvara, Hal Carnassus, Morax, Sinikush, Echo Bear, Deja Fu, Kovuwu, Legally Trash, Is This Live, Twin Cam Inferno, Martin S, Minnow, Sorta Dutch, Rad Bickley, Shadow of Gaia, Flower Power Bear, Poppy Dude, Dan Jamo. Thank you everyone for your support. Goodbye!